Wish I'd flow on the track like a super rich guy that raps, smoking every day. Bestie mates with Dr. Dre. I'll hear him as they pass, think I'm in a different class. Yeah, I really, really, really wanna be your.
So let's break the ice.
Okay, great.
We are sitting in your studio.
Yes.
Amazing studio, by the way.
Thank you.
Is this your space where you just create and where you do your thing?
Yeah. So I've been in this flat for about 6 years. I used to have a studio in Wandsworth, but I think I just work better when I'm living where I'm creating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
I read that you started singing when you were 6 years old.
Yes,
Is that right?
that is true, yeah.
Where did the love for music come from at such an early age?
So my parents used to play, well, they've played my entire life as musicians. My mum's a banjo and bass player and singer, and my dad is a guitarist singer. It never felt like I started singing, it just felt like everyone always was, which is cool.
Part of life.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got me into like piano and eventually guitar, and so yeah, it was good.
Where did you come up with your band names? Because you've been in a few.
Yes.
So I'm fascinated. They're all very unusual names. Most recently, the Midnight Beast.
Yes. Now I've got a notepad on my phone, but obviously back in the day it was a piece of scrap paper. And whenever normally it's like in the shower or like waking up in the morning and something would pop into my head and I'd note it down.
And Midnight Beast, where did that come from?
So Midnight Beast was a really weird one. I don't remember writing it down, but on my wardrobe in my bedroom, I had a piece of silver gaffer tape and the words Midnight Beast were written on it by me. I don't know when. It might have been after a night out. It might have been the middle of the night after a fever dream. I don't know, but they were just on the wardrobe, and me and one of my bandmates, Drew, were just brainstorming names, and we went, that's cool. And funny story, like when we used to try and hire tour buses, everyone thought we were like super metal and we were going to be really rowdy because Midnight Beast sounds pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it does.
Little did they know we had male backup dancers and costumes. So yeah, very different.
Been in bands, for the last 10 years?
Yes, yeah.
So what is it like being in a band and working with other people?
Well, it's amazing. I think I always have been a control freak, and I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I think when there's more heads involved, you just come up with stuff that you'd never think of. The amazing thing, for instance, with Midnight Beast is like Drew was the drummer in all my other bands, and then suddenly he's writing kind of rap lyrics from a drummer's perspective and in a way that I'd never think of it. And then Ash hadn't written a song in his life before we sat down, and he was almost approaching it like he was writing a script. And like these kind of curveballs that you get thrown when you've got another collaborator in the room are the thing that make it so fun. Also, it's really easy to forget that 90% of being in a band is sitting around waiting to go on stage. Even if I was touring on my own, I'd want to be surrounded by people I trusted,
So how would you describe your music style in a few words, just so that we have an idea of who you are as a musician?
I've always been very influenced by a band called Glassjaw from New York, and they're like a post-hardcore band. They're pretty heavy, but my uncle said, you sound a little bit like Elvis Costello when you sing. And then I discovered him. He just taught me that you can be different. Like not every song, it can be a love song, but it might not even be about your partner. It might be something else. And I just want to say something different in the music that I'm writing. And I think for me, lyrics are everything. And then a wicked melody, when that's intertwined with that, it's amazing. So I think there's always a little spine of like novelty to the stuff that I work on, and I don't see that as a bad thing. I take kind of funny lyrics pretty seriously, I guess, yeah.
Well, speaking of lyrics, what is your creative process like? How do you write a song?
Normally I'll collaborate with someone else because I don't love working on my own with music. I've just never really understood that. So, and I'll be with someone else and I'll get them to have a little look at the titles, and then they might like misinterpret something, and that's where like the magic will start rolling. And the cool thing about when you collaborate with an artist is like it's got to be their voice. So once we've got a cool like title or something like that, we'll just put on like a loud drum beat or start playing chords and just scat some melody, and then it's amazing when the two line up, really.
So you guys have written a book,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
You had your own sitcom.
Yes.
You have millions of views on social media.
Yeah.
What does making it mean to you?
I've always struggled with it because I think it's a good thing that the creative mind's like never fulfilled, never satisfied. And I guess that kind of sucks, but then it's a good thing because you're always like striving for the next thing. And it's like this year that I've realized, I think for me making it is like accepting the fact that the process is the best part of what we do. That hasn't been an easy acceptance because normally it's like, how many views did this video get? How many plays did this song get? And comparing everything to like previous versions of songs and stuff like that. And that's a really bad way to think. And I think social media can like angle us into that way of thinking. Like the fact that I've had 9 years of making songs with two of my best mates is wicked. And then the fact that in the future I'm hoping it will be more days of like new people coming around and working on their projects and then maybe another band and maybe more Midnight Beast, and like that's making it for me now, I guess. Yeah,
you've really got to have a passion for it, right? Because that's
100%.
what fuels you and keeps you going.
Yeah.
So I mean, is passion enough?
Yeah, I think so, 100%. I think it's, you know, it's sad, but a lot of people start and then a lot of the numbers start to dwindle as they realize how hardcore it is. My fiance is a dancer and like it's the same with her, and I just think sticking it out is the only way that you're going to break through. You just have to keep grinding, keep grafting, playing the toilet venues, all of that, you know. It's almost like paying homage to everyone that's done it before you.
What do you want people to take away from listening to your music?
I think it's cool if they can see that on the surface it's like a little funny, a little tongue-in-cheek, maybe helps them take life a little less serious, but then can also read the subtext for the fact that there's some kind of deeper stuff going on. And I think if people get that, and if it makes them inspired, like if that gets them into creating, if it gets them into dancing or performing or writing or something totally random, then I think it's worked in some way. That'd be sick. Yeah.
Well, if you could break the ice, meaning have a drink with anyone past or present,
Yep.
who would it be and why?
Well, this is quite a weird one because he's not a musician, but I think Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle would be incredible. I just think he comes across as one of the nicest guys in the industry. So I'd just be up for hanging out with him.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired by people that aren't even in the same field. I also think with music, I'm always a bit reserved because they always say never meet your idols. So I think it'd be sick to meet him and just kind of hear about his process.
I like that you said that you're inspired by other people that are not in your field.
Yeah.
Do you use some of that inspiration in your music or when you're creating?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the Midnight Beast to have the chance to kind of make a sitcom and learn about structure and script writing and that kind of thing, that was incredible. And I still use lessons we had on script writing and songwriting. And I think it's wicked to like seek inspiration from other fields because that's how you make something truly unique. Definitely. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank
Sick.
you for talking to us.
Thank you. That was
It's been
awesome.
so much fun. Your studio is amazing.
Thanks.
And yeah, thank you so much.